Hello, everyone. Ihsan Anabtawi here, and welcome to a new episode of Future Now. I have a really special guest with me here today, Khaled Al Huraimel, Group CEO of Beeah. Khaled has been at the helm of Beeah since 2009 and has really led the organization to transform from a waste management company to a sustainability leader and pioneer. He spearheaded multiple milestones while at Beeah, including the establishment of the first waste-to-energy plant in the MENA region, the first sustainable transport company in the region, and also the establishment of the really stunning headquarters in Sharjah, designed by the late Zaha Hadid, which is a net zero, and one of the most sustainable buildings in the region that I had the pleasure of visiting personally. Khaled, thank you for joining me today, and welcome to Future Now.
Thank you, Ihsan. It's a pleasure to be here and to be invited to this podcast.
Thank you. Khaled, maybe I'd like to start by getting your reflections and thoughts about Beeah as an organization. I know it's a well-recognized national organization, but I know it transformed over the years. So I'd love to maybe start by some thoughts from you about how the company has evolved, your own tenure at the company.
Sure. So I've been in Beeah from the start. We started operating in 2009, and in the last 15 years. So when we first started, we started with a certain vision, which is, pioneering sustainable quality of life in the MENA region and looking at the environmental challenges our region is facing, and with a focus on waste. Waste was a problem in the region, here in the UAE and in the GCC in general. We're one of the highest producers of waste per capita, up to 2.5 kilogram per person per day. So this was the immediate problem that we tackled, starting in Sharjah. And now, fast forward to today. So in 15 years, we became the largest waste management company in the UAE and the first fully integrated waste management company in the region, where today we don't just service Sharjah, we service all of the UAE, plus Saudi, plus Egypt, and expanding. And when we say fully integrated waste management, what do we do? So from starting with waste collection, street cleaning, managing landfills. We own and operate 10 different waste treatment facilities, from a material recovery facility that takes all the different types of waste, municipal solid waste. We segregate it through an automated process, construction waste, leading to our waste-to-energy facility, which we opened recently. Over the years, we were able to achieve a waste diversion rate of up to 75%. And then we took it to 90%, and now on the way to zero waste to landfill. And this is, again, building the infrastructure. This also involved a lot of awareness, education. We have the Beeah School of Environment now. And what has happened over the years? So knowing that our growth that was happening in the UAE and becoming one of the largest companies in this sector, we saw we will reach a point in time in the UAE where we will not have much growth left. So we saw that many years back, and we started planning for the future and how can Beeah as an organization continue to grow. And this is where we looked at a strategy of two directions we took. One is diversification, and the other is geographic expansion. So about 3 years ago, we expanded outside the UAE. And it was right at the start of COVID, so there was a lot of challenges at that time, but we successfully did that. So we in Saudi, we entered Medina, the holy city of Medina, where we had the contract for waste collection and street cleaning for most of Medina. At the same time, we won the contract for the new admin capital in Cairo, which is a very large city that's being built. And we had that contract also for 15 years, but full waste management we do for that city. In terms of diversification in waste management over the years, one of the areas that we've led in our sector is in terms of innovation and utilizing technology, utilizing AI over the years. So we become quite good at that, and this is what gave us a competitive edge. And we became so good at it that we started investing in digital companies. So we look at diversification. We diversified into technology and digital, into energy, and now recently into healthcare and into real estate.
Wow.
So the group today has become a diversified group. And operating in different verticals. Waste management is where we started, but today we are a very different organization.
Amazing, really, and we'll get into some of these parts as we progress in the conversation. But it's really, I mean, I learned a lot when I spoke with you before the podcast about how the company evolved. And yeah, when I initially thought of Beeah, I thought of your core business, but the expansion has been significant, and it's really great to see the impact that you're having. Which brings me maybe to another topic that is related. I think you'd agree that sustainability has become more prevalent in terms of people's top of mind, not just people in the field. Probably more so in the UAE, as the UAE hosted COP28, but also as we all are seeing the impact of things like climate change and other aspects of sustainability. What are some of your key sustainability initiatives?
Definitely there is much more awareness here in our region. I won't just say the UAE, and the region, the UAE and other countries in the region, Egypt. There's, I believe also, COVID also created a lot of awareness during that time, where people saw the impact of the pandemic. And with all of that, and with people seeing in the news the impact of climate change, of what's happening around the world, definitely there's more awareness. And also a lot of education and an awareness is happening. Addition to that is the governments in the region are putting a lot stronger emphasis now in this area, especially the UAE. We have targets for waste. We have targets for energy. We have our net zero target for 2050, and so on. So definitely there's a lot of support and direction from the top down in tackling these environmental challenges in the UAE and in the region. For Beeah, when it comes to waste management, definitely we've gone a long way, and where we've now achieved the highest diversion rate away from landfill in the Middle East. And now we're looking at doing similar programs in other cities around the region. Other than waste management, when we're looking at energy, we built the first waste-to-energy plant in the region. It produced 30 megawatts of renewable energy. That's enough to power over 20,000 homes. We're also now looking at repurposing our old landfill, as now we've reached almost zero waste. I do not need the landfill anymore, so I'm looking at repurposing that landfill into a solar park, which will generate up to 120 megawatts of power. That's enough to power a small city. So that project we announced it in COP28. And something that's also new and innovative is we're working on a waste to hydrogen project. And one of the first of its kind in the world to produce green hydrogen, or what we call super green hydrogen, because it's carbon negative. And we've done a pilot plant in the UK with our partners, Chinook Hydrogen, and based out of the UK. And we had a successful run of that pilot plant, and we announced it also in COP28 in Dubai. And now we're proceeding with a large-scale plant in Sharjah. So a lot is being done, and we continue to invest in innovation to reach our sustainability targets.
Thank you for walking me through some of the key initiatives in sustainability. I know when we last spoke, you know, Beeah as an organization, but also you personally are very passionate about aligning and contributing to the UAE's national agenda and national priorities. Besides what you already mentioned, are there key things that stand out for you in terms of the UAE's national priorities?
The UAE definitely has very strong sustainability goals, and Beeah Group is very much aligned with that. So when it comes to waste management, our zero waste target, we've achieved already almost 90% diversion. Also, in COP28, we announced our net zero targets. By 2040, Beeah Group will be achieving net zero. So that's aligned also with the UAE's target of 2050. We're also, again, investing in hydrogen. There's targets to achieve that for the UAE. So whether it's waste management, renewable energy, Beeah is putting a lot of investments that are very much aligned with the UAE goals.
And maybe one particular area I'd like to touch on is on energy, particularly. You mentioned energy is an area that you're also getting into. also, if you think of where the country is investing beyond sustainability, there's been a spike in demand for energy, whether it's because of data center expansion, which is a key driver of energy consumption, population growth, infrastructure growth in the country. How are you contributing to the increased need of energy in the country, but also doing it sustainably?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have our waste to energy plant that's been operating now for almost 2 years that produces 30 megawatts of power. We have our upcoming solar project that will be producing 120 megawatts of power. If you look at our headquarters, that also has a solar farm for the HQ that produces up to 40% of the building requirements. The building is LEED Platinum certified. We have other projects we're also looking at right now. Most of our energy projects that we've worked on to date have been mostly related to waste. So they aim for two goals: diverting waste away from landfill and producing renewable energy. So this is what we've been doing, and we're looking at similar projects in the UAE and across the region.
Okay, fantastic. Now, switching gears a little bit to technology, which I know is an area you're passionate about personally, and I love something what you said to me recently. You said that you adopted AI before AI was fashionable, and you continue to do so.
Yeah.
With the incremental adoption and interest and growth in AI, particularly, how do you see AI impacting sustainability or enhancing sustainability goals, and how has Beeah embraced technology in general, but AI in particular in its agenda?
Well, two core pillars of Beeah is sustainability and digitalization. This has always been the case. So we've been looking at all forms of technology and tools to achieve our objective, which is our sustainability target. So I believe we've become quite good at that over the years. And one of the areas that we focused on much before ChatGPT was a thing was in AI. How can we utilize AI in achieving our goals? Whether it's in how our staff work together, whether it's how our plants run, and so on and so forth. So to give you some examples, we have the first waste segregation plant in the Middle East that uses AI and robotics to segregate waste. And so it uses through visual recognition and machine learning. It knows this is plastic, this is aluminium, cardboard, and it segregates. We have a robot that does that. So that's one example. The other example is our headquarters. We designed the headquarters to be the office of the future. And we worked closely with Johnson Control and Microsoft many years ago to studying hundreds of AI use cases of how an office how people would operate in an office, whether it's visitor experience, staff, whether the building management system. We build a digital twin. So this was all done, and we have these AI use cases working in the building. Another example is our fleet of vehicles. We have today over 2,000 vehicles operating for our waste collection and street cleaning. So whether it's how we optimize our routes, all our vehicles are tracked. Through AI, we optimize the routes. Or more recently, we're using AI vision. We've attached cameras on some of our waste collection trucks. And we call it our AI vision project, where as the vehicle drives, the collection vehicle, it knows if the street needs cleaning, it knows if the bin needs collection, and so on and so forth, and it keeps learning. In the past, that was done with inspectors. You would have inspectors driving around the city and seeing if there's any work needs to be done. Now, the same vehicle that actually does the collection will be collecting that data. And we have a 24/7 control room that monitors all of that. And we continuously look at what we can do more with AI. We have an AI task force established in the group. We're working now, and we've announced recently an AI executive project. So we're looking at using AI in all the different areas, whether it's procurement, HR. We're already using it, but we're looking at how we can use it more. How can we create, for example, a digital twin of not just a building, but a digital twin of our, let's say, our HR executives, our procurement executives. And we're investing a lot on that side. And again, with AI, we see with time, more demand for data centers. And this is where Beeah also invested now, is moving on to be an investor in building the first Tier 3 data center in Sharjah. It's a big investment we're doing in partnership with Al Khazna, one of the largest developers of data centers in the region. So this again shows our commitment to see that the demand will only increase with the exponential rise of AI. It's only going to increase more demand for data centers. So we're investing in building data centers now. But what's unique about our data centers, knowing that data centers consume a lot of power, is they will be sustainable. So our first data centers will be powered from our waste to energy facility. It will be adjacent to that facility. So it'll be fully powered by renewable. So that's again what we've been doing. We continue to invest more in digital. We have several digital ventures we've launched over the years. Evotech, which we developed a product called Smart Track that does track and trace of medicine. So today in the UAE, through a partnership with the Ministry of Health, we track and trace all medicine in the UAE. From time it enters the country, we know what's in every pharmacy live, what doctors are prescribing. This again helps with the strategic supply of medicine. It helps also eliminate any medicine that is counterfeit or entering the country illegally or dated. So this has gone live actually last year. We've been the track and trace. That's Evotech. We also established ReLife. About 2 years ago now, ReLife, we looked at how ReLife started is basically how can we disrupt and how can waste management, what is the next digital evolution in waste management? And we said, like how Uber disrupted public transport, we studied that for many years, and then we launched ReLife, where we have ReLife Collect and ReLife Market. So basically with ReLife Market, it's an online marketplace for trading recyclable commodities. So we segregate a lot of waste. A lot of this waste is recycled. So we sell the material. We buy from the market and we trade it. We become the largest trader. So we said, why not create a marketplace that we list our products there, but anybody can list product there. So that business has been doing exponentially well. And we've opened up offices now in India and Saudi, and we continue to expand that business. So that's ReLife. So again, so as I said, other than Beeah utilizing AI and technology, we set up our own digital ventures also in this space.
I mean, it's really very enlightening, I think, and hearing you describe this. I mean, like for me, it's a great example of an organization adopting technology, but also creating your own technology, right? So you're not only are you adopting AI internally, but you're also creating tech and implementing it so that others can benefit from it. And you're doing it at multiple layers. I think the work that you're doing, I mean, I had no idea that you're building a data center and also, powering it with your own waste. So that end-to-end cycle, I'm sure Beeah will probably use that facility itself, but also make it available
for sure
to clients. I mean, what you shared is a lot. A lot of it is quite innovative and quite complex, right? How do you, like, as a leader of a large organization, how do you foster a culture of innovation? I mean, a lot of this requires, I think, learning and experimentation and trying new things. I'd love to learn from you.
So for Beeah, to achieve what it has done, you have to take risks. And without risks, we wouldn't have achieved what we have to date. And we've had the support of our shareholders. And another reason also for our success is partnerships. We cannot always do everything ourselves. So we have a lot of partnerships that we have done. So Beeah itself was formed as a partnership, as a PPP, a public-private partnership. We are a private organization and we operate as a private organization, but we were formed initially as a PPP. Now, if I look at our waste-to-energy project, it was a partnership with Masdar. If I looked at a leader in renewable energy, and that's a very successful partnership. If I look at our data center as a partnership with Al Khazna. And so a lot of our growth is we did through partnerships, risk-taking, and also building the team. We are an evolving organization. We are never constant. We're always changing. And our culture is changing, our organization is changing, and that's part of our DNA. I think for us to continue growing, so starting in waste management, now we're also in technology, we're in energy, we're in healthcare and real estate, very different sectors. And over the years also as an organization, we've had to restructure to meet whatever it is where we are in our journey.
Yes.
And a year from now, Beeah will be very different than it is today. And we are ever changing, always. And I think this is the culture that we have built in Beeah. We are an innovative organization, always open to new ideas, always trying to think beyond tomorrow, and always looking at doing it not alone, with partners.
Fantastic. And Khaled, I mean, of course, as you balance between, the external agenda and what you're doing on sustainability, how you're, partnering with different organizations, your internal innovation agenda, your employee culture, what are some of the challenges that come to mind for you? And I'm sure there's many, right?
Definitely we faced a lot of challenges. I'll give you one example. In MENA in Saudi, our first international expansion. So it was something very important for us, not just that it's the first time Beeah goes outside the UAE borders, but in the holy city of Medina, which is even more important. So we had to get that right. So that was a project that we went through with the client is Amanat al-Medina. But the challenge that we had is when we won, we had to mobilize 3,000 staff with hundreds of vehicles, and then COVID hit at that time. And if you recall, in Saudi at that time, they closed borders. People cannot travel in and out of Saudi so we had a challenge. So how were we able to do that? It was very challenging, but we were able to find our ways, whether, we would fly people to different countries, quarantine them for 2 weeks, getting them into the country, how we bring in, also there was a big disruption to the supply chain of shipping and so on, but we were very committed. So we went out of our way to make sure that's a successful entry into Saudi. And now we have other opportunities that are coming up in Saudi because of the success we've had there. So I'm giving you an example.
Yes.
And I think we've always been resilient. We've always faced challenges, but we don't give up. And we take risks. And this is, I believe, the part of our culture and DNA at Beeah.
Fantastic. And I mean, it's evident. I mean, I think a lot of these things are the result of what happens behind the scenes, which a lot of people may not see, but I'm sure it's filled with
a lot of stress
and resilience, and what you said earlier, also taking risks, being okay to maybe fail, but fail forward and try again, and I think fostering that culture.
A lot of learning. A lot of learning, and now we're looking at how we can accelerate our international expansion, and so on.
Fantastic. And which brings me again back. I think we talked about AI and AI adoption. Where do you see the internal adoption of AI? I mean, have you seen specifically generative AI? Do you see your employees and your organization embracing it? Are there some examples that come to mind?
I think, first, we started our AI journey maybe 10 years ago. And the early days, it was challenging, where people were not seeing maybe the benefit. And why are we investing in this now? And maybe when AI was more in the scene in the last 2 years, with the introduction of ChatGPT, people started seeing the value, and they start seeing the opportunities and the risks involved of not adopting AI. But again, having had a head start allowed us to move faster, I believe. And I think from our HQ being the first fully AI integrated building in the region, having plants using AI, vehicles, and examples I gave. So I think we see an advantage of our group is investing more in AI and to get work done faster, more economical, and so on, more efficiently. And I think we'll continue doing more of that. And to a point where we're providing that support to other organizations in terms of AI solutions and consultancy and advisory.
Fantastic. So Khaled, I think, what does the future look like? I mean, what are your long-term plans? Vision for the company. Where do you go from here? You already have.
Well, for as a group, we've grown quite well in the last 10 years, and we have quite an aggressive plan of growth for the next 10 years. And part of that is our expansion of our waste management business internationally. Part of it is our aggressive diversification strategy. What I've not talked about, for example, we're diversifying also now in healthcare. We're building a hospital. We're building a hospital in Sharjah. We've done a partnership with Mass General Brigham and Dana-Farber from Boston, and building the Jawahar Boston Medical District in Sharjah. So this is a state-of-the-art medical facilities. We're building it and designing it as a hospital of the future, like we designed the office of the future. So we're really looking at where healthcare is going and working closely with these partners in Boston, who are the Harvard Medical School affiliated teaching hospitals too. And so that's an exciting project that we're working on that will be a large investment in healthcare in Sharjah. So that's in healthcare. Another area we're looking at in real estate. We've gained a lot of experience in the last years building our headquarters, building all our different facilities, that now we're starting a real estate business, a real estate development business. So we're now designing, and we will announce it quite soon, a net zero district, real estate district. So it'll be a district of the future.
Also in Sharjah?
Also in Sharjah. So we'll be doing many real estate developments upcoming, and we'll be announcing more of that soon. And again, it's all because of this ecosystem that we've built as Beeah, from renewable energy, waste management, healthcare, technology, and now with our target toward net zero, we can now bring it all together to build that city of the future. So this is something that's an exciting project also we're working on. So many different areas that we're working on. Looking at data centers, I see that's an area that we will continue also investing in. And I'm sure through partnership, we'll be looking at other opportunities too.
That's great, really. And again, I'm really... First of all, I commend you on the diversification, right? And I think for me, what stands out is the ability to connect the different assets together. I think that's really unique, where you're really bringing the full company forward, but also being creative and how you're connecting all the different assets of Beeah to make the others more valuable, right?
Correct.
Which is really,
correct,
really impressive. Khaled, what's your advice to other leaders or organizations that are looking to adopt either sustainability, AI, or both in their business models, in their operations, like you've done?
Yeah, I think one is partnerships, collaboration. Part of our success is collaborating, partnering with others, whether government or private sector. So we're a very strong believer of that in our region. So I see that you don't have to always do things by yourself. Partner and share the success, learn together. So that's an area definitely that I think that we believe that more can be done in the region, whether in the UAE or country-wise, cross-border, a lot of partnerships that can be done. And the other area is, taking risks, and I think we've done that. It's paid off for us, and I think this is an area that you need to take that risk to achieve big results.
I agree. Any last thoughts? Any closing remarks?
Thank you very much, Ihsan. Pleasure to be here and looking forward to see you soon again.
Thank you, Khaled. It's really been my pleasure to host you on Future Now. I hope to welcome you again, and I wish you and everybody at Beeah all the best in your future plans. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Thank you.